it was one time we didn't consult the Creator about getting rid of our enemies, and then our enemies tricked us. Every time we don't, go to the Creator, or turn our problems to Almighty Yah, it's easily to trick us, and to not history demonstrate this. And I'm gonna show how, you know, the Havites, you know what I'm saying, we didn't destroy, and because they tricked us, and how the Gibeonites would translate into the Nethinims, and how the Nethinims would be the door opener, for all the enemies to get in and claim Israelite heritage, and they start doing that, when the exiles come back home. The exiles could only live in Judah inheritance in the cities around Jerusalem. And I'm going to show this and establish this, and then how they was knocked off real fast because they started to mortgage their land and so forth. All right. If we go to, let's establish who the Gibeonites and the Nethinims are. The Nethinims is just going to be the host of all our enemies put together that we didn't destroy, that we accidentally made a covenant with during Joshua time. And like I said, we didn't mean to let them folks slide, but they tricked us, as we get tricked all the time, and we've been getting tricked for a long time. In this captivity, the people from the transatlantic slave trade been getting tricked left and right, and some of this trickery, go all the way back to ancient times. Okay, if we look at, let's see, that'd be Joshua 9. If we look at Joshua 9, we're gonna see that it come to pass when all the kings which were on this side of Jordan, in the hills and in the valleys, and in the valleys and in the coast of the great sea over against Lebanon, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Havites, and the Jebusites heard thereof, that they gathered themselves together to fight with Joshua and with Israel with one accord. So all our enemies got together with one accord to fight against us. And it's a trip how we can't do that to our enemies, get together with one accord and be against our enemies. All right. And when the inhabitants of Gabon heard what Joshua had done unto Jericho and to Ai, they did work willingly, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sacks upon their asses, they horses and stuff, donkeys, and wine bottles, and old and rent and bound up. They went and got some old stuff, and made it seem like that they had traveled from a long distance, and that they had just stumbled up on us, and how they done heard about our fame, and us tearing them other folks up that was some kin in them, and then how they wanted to make a league with us, and we got tricked. They did work willingly, and went and made as if they had been ambassadors, and took old sackcloths upon their asses, and wine bottles, old and rent and bound up, and old shoes and cloth upon their feet, and old garments upon them, and all the bread of their provisions was dry and moldy. And they went to Joshua unto the camp at Gilgal, and said unto him and to them men of Israel, we be come from a far country. Now therefore make ye a league with us. And the men of Israel said unto the Havites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? You know what I'm saying? So we was like, we can't make no league with y'all. Y'all might be living among us, And the men of Israel said unto the Havites, peradventure ye dwell among us, and how shall we make a league with you? And they said unto Joshua, we are thy servants. And Joshua said unto them, who are you? And from whence come you? You know what I'm saying? Where y'all come from? Who are y'all? And they said unto him, from a very far country thy servants are come because of the name of the Elohim that Yah, for we have heard of the fame of him and all that he did in Egypt, and all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, to Sihon king of Heshbon, and to Og king of Bashan, which was at Ashtaroth. Wherefore our elders and all the inhabitants of our country spake to us, saying, take food with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and to say unto them, we are your servants, therefore make a league with us. And we should have consulted the Creator throughout the whole time, but we never did. And that's how our enemies got in right here. This is what let all our enemies in. When the exiles were destroyed, our heritage went over to the Nethinims, who were the Tobiids and the Hasmoneans, who eventually became the Hasmonean dynasty. It's going to come from these folks right here. And this is how the people got in, claiming our heritage, besides the ones that were set in Samaria in 722, gonna be the brains, the ones from Babylon. They still here today, and how they are Amorites, and how these people were Amorites too, and how all of them became one, and how the Amorites, took over the Moabites and the Ammonites, and how the Amorites will be the chief among all our enemies, and how all our enemies became bind up in them, and how did those Amorites go back to Prophet Abraham, when the Creator told him that the iniquity of the Amorites was not yet full. It never was full. We never did destroy them and bring they end about. And how did they end? It's right here today. They ruled is right here today, and they end is here now too, because we waking up, to what's going on. But you see, look, they tricked us. And they said unto him, from a very far country thy servants are come because of the name of the Elohim that Yah, for we have heard the fame of him and all that he did in Egypt. And all that he did to the two kings of the Amorites that were beyond Jordan, Sihon, king of Heshbon, and Og, king of Bashan, which was at Aswad. Wherefore our elders and all our inhabitants of our country spake unto us, saying, take food with you for the journey, and go to meet them, and say unto them, we are your servants, therefore now make ye a league with us. And that was like making a league with the devil, because if we wouldn't have made a league with them, then later on they descendants, after the exiles got in, couldn't have never got the heritage, and there would never be no Jews today. And now all them folks gonna come from these people right here, besides the Ashkenazi. All right. This our bread we took hot for our provision out of our houses on the day we come forth to go unto you. But now behold, it is dry and it is moldy. See, it was tricking us. These bottles of wine which we filled were new, and behold, they are rent. And these our garments and our shoes became old by reason of the very long journey. And the men took of their victuals and asked not counsel at the Elohim. You know what I'm saying? We didn't take counsel of the Elohim Yah. And the men took of their victuals and asked not the counsel at the mouth of the Elohim Yah. And Joshua made peace with them and made a league with them to let them live. And the princes of the congregation swore unto them. Now we done swore in the Creator's name, so we wouldn't be able to go back on that promise, because we swearing by our Creator's name, all of us. Now if it would have just been one person that made the oath with them, then that would have been different. But the whole congregation and the whole assembly of the people, the leaders, made a league with them in the name of Almighty Yah. So we was bound by that, and that was our destruction right there. That was our destruction right there. We could never recover from that. Like I said, we never got a good foot and standing in the promised land because we didn't destroy our enemies, and how our enemies constantly pop game on us. They had party after party after, you know what I'm saying, on us. And then if they wasn't partying, they was come crying, playing the sorry game, like what these Gabonites did. And all this would end up to us losing our heritage later on. You see, you got Hebrews that's quick to run and make a league with the enemies. They quick to make a league with the enemies, and they think that they doing something special because they done made a league with the enemies, and they be feeling like they, the big boss because they done made a league with the enemy. But in the end, it be our destruction, and that's the way it's been the whole time in Tanakh history. Every time we make a league with our enemies, we get destroyed. And Joshua made peace with them and made a league with them to let them live. And the princes of the congregation swore unto them. And it come to pass at the end of 3 days, after they had made a league with them, that they heard that they were their neighbors, and that they dwelt among them. See, so the other folks gonna be laughing, and you know how we done got tricked. And the children of Israel journeyed and came unto their cities the 3rd day. Now these cities were Gabon. See, we done took their cities and, done let them lay it on down. And the children of Israel smote them not, because of the princes of the congregation had sworn unto them by the Elohim Yah of Israel. And all the congregation murmured against the princes, because we done made a promise to them folks to let them live, knowing that the creators told us to destroy them folks and our enemies. But now we done made a league with them. You see, that's right there. That's breaking the covenant, and that would lead to our doom, as it did. And the creator say them folks will be a thorn in our side, and they was, all the way till we was destroyed and driven off the land. This gonna be the origin of the Hasmoneans and the Maccabees. They gonna come off the Tobiats, who got in with the Nethinims. All them become one, because they are Amorites. Amorite means Semitic, and Western Semitic. All right. And the princes said unto them, all right, but all the princes said unto all the congregation, we have sworn unto them by the Elohim Yah of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. This is, we will do to them, we will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath which we swore unto them. We should have went and consulted the Creator and asked him if he could forgive us and let us get them, because they tricked us and they lied to us, and the Creator probably would have let us get them. But throughout the whole time, we never did went to the Creator and consulted him about destroying them folks, and they would be a thorn in our side. They would eventually get our whole heritage. All right, these we will do to them, we will even let them live, lest wrath be upon us because of the oath which we swore unto them. And the princes said unto them, let them live, but let them be hewers of wood and drawers of water unto all the congregation. That's what we shouldn't have did. See, now they get to be in, follow our culture and do our heritage, and then they around the most sensitive entity that we got, and that's gonna be our worship. You know what I'm saying? They around the where we worship at. That's where the priests is and the Levites and so forth. If they mixing in amongst them and get in to be among them, then that's a bad thing, and that will have consequences later on, as it did when the exiles come back from Babylon. They was destroyed real fast by them folks, and then them folks will step up and say they was Israelites. All right, and Joshua called for them. He spake unto them, saying, wherefore have ye beguiled us, saying, we are very far from you, when ye dwell among us. Now therefore ye are cursed, and there shall be none of you be free from being bondmen and hewers of wood and drawers of water for the house of my Yah. That's awful. That was a terrible play. We should have never told them that. That they will be drawers of water for the house of Yah, because when we was driven off into Africa and lost the covenant, that didn't include them, and how that they would have our heritage after that. You see, when we went into Africa during the Babylonian Wars and that 1% come home and them people were still in the land, then, they would have our heritage. And then even, some of the Solomon's servants bred with them. And all the wicked people that want to claim a Israelite heritage come in under Solomon, or some kind of way connect themselves to Solomon's descendants or Solomon's servants, or some kind of way it's gonna come off Solomon, because Solomon was a wicked king, and you can get a lie in and false history in up under a wicked king, and that's what they did.